So we put together an amazing panel. We have Nina from Salesforce, Sudeep from Hortonworks, and Fritz from Brand Live. Tell us how you're using live video, what's important to you, and what are some of the key metrics that you're looking for?
At what point are people no longer finding this content interesting or starting to drop off?
Interesting. Is there any data that you can share? I know Salesforce is like lock and key on everything, but is there anything you can share with where you're seeing like average view times or engagement times, I should say, to when people are dropping off?
Sharing a few data points because I think people love the data, right? If they can get their hands around that. And we did a 2018 benchmark report, and one of those data points was the average view time for live video is over 20 minutes. And I think to a lot of Jeff's comments earlier, it has to do with that interactivity. If you can get your audience to really engage, add a little bit of a social layer to it, and video plays so much better in social.
Average view time is a fancy metric. We definitely take a look at it. It, like Nina was mentioning, it depends on the type of webinar that we're running. However, I look at other metrics such as attributed revenue and things at the bottom of the funnel too.
How are you measuring that? So attribution is a big deal. Like attribution, everyone talks about attribution. I've never known anyone to do it right.
Let's start with the tech stack. So we use Marketo as the marketing automation platform. We use a company called Salesforce for sales automation.
Do we know that? Is anyone from Salesforce here?
And our website basically is WordPress. Our landing pages and forms are all Marketo. So when someone fills up the form, we use Discover.org to enrich the data if there's missing data pieces and if that needs some tweaking and whatnot. And then our lead scoring is also done on Marketo. But at the lead scoring level, we also look at people's demographic, which is driven by Mintigo, which looks at our ideal customer profile and all that. There's a big marketing tech stack that we have. What we use is a tool called BrightFunnel, which gets data from Salesforce and looks at our historical data points and identifies what programs typically have helped in converting to revenue and what personas have helped in converting to revenue. And based on that, they do a fuzzy logic and identify every touch in marketing is attributed a specific dollar amount.
Anyone starting off on creating their first live event, their first webinar, what's the first thing that they measure?
I think the first thing that I looked at was how many people we got registered, because that is essentially the first metric that you see in terms of performance. And then in terms of pipeline that's generated and deals that are closed, that comes anywhere from 30 to 90 days down from the webinar.
Absolutely, you nailed it. I mean, the first time you set up a webinar program, you'd look at the number of registrations, and then the number of attendees, and number of on-demand attendees going forward.